What is going on, everybody? This is episode number 4 of Stats Over Politics. As always, I am Sean Holko, virtually alongside my guys, Gary Sink, Javon Toddy, Kevin Dent. How are we doing, gentlemen? Javon, I want to hear from you first because we are going to torch you a little bit on this week's episode because of the USC Trojans. However, we were talking before the show got started, before this live stream started, and I cut you guys off because we were getting towards 8:30. But I just got to know, Javon, why is Kevin the Elk Grove hero? Like, how?
I told you Kevin was going to leave. See,
I wanted to see if he was serious, but Javon,
nah, he was serious, bro. Come on, bro.
Oh man, I don't even know what to say. It's just kind of it's been a rough weekend for me. You know, just it started off bad on Friday for us, so it went all the way in the wrong direction. It's been just downhill for me since Friday, so everything's kind of been my quarterback got hurt again. Like it's just been all the way bad weekend for me. So it's been rough. I've been trying to go through the motions. Caleb Williams, he's still going to win the Heisman. I'm very confident in that still, but we could get into it a little bit more, but that's kind of where I'm at with it right now.
For sure. So Kevin, despite the dramatic exit, Javon did not want to reveal the origin story of the nickname. So we're just going to keep it pushing. Kevin, how we doing, bro?
I'm doing well, man. Can't complain. Happy to be back with my boys.
Hey, I appreciate the dramatic exit. That was very nice. And Gary, how we doing, bro?
What's up? What's happening with the guys, man? Hold on. Y'all notice anything new today? I just got a little bit of a haul today. You feel me? A little bit of a little Steelers haul had to get from Black Friday. You know what I'm saying? We won this week. I can be a little happy. Can I be a little happy, you guys? Can I be a little happy? My team just hates losing.
Y'all ain't supposed to be winning right now.
We not, bro. I hate my team for winning, but it's okay. I got best of both worlds. I got the Kings experience. I got my Steelers experience. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good.
Hey, did you guys see that video of Mike Tomlin where a fan tried to say, "Hey, Mike Tomlin, how's it going?" And he was like,
"We working out here."
In as many words, he said, "I'm working. Leave me alone," and he kept it pushing. So, but I mean, they won, so that's all that matters. On this week's episode of Stats Over Politics, we're going to primarily talk about college football because there's a lot going on with college football this past weekend and what we got going on in the next month. But before we get there, we're going to talk about the Kings' 3-game winning streak. The Kings are streaky, as last week they were on a 3-game losing streak. This week they're on a 3-game winning streak. Before that, they were on a 7-game winning streak. So super streaky Sacramento Kings. We're going to get into that. And then we're also going to get into the NFL and the week that was, including Jimmy Garoppolo getting injured once again. So, gentlemen, let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it with the Sacramento Kings. As going into last week, after last week's episode, the Kings were going to be taking on the Pacers in that super emotional game against Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, returning to Sacramento. And the Kings, they absolutely obliterated the Pacers, winning 137-114. Then they go and play on the road in LA against the Clippers without PG-13 and Kawhi, but they take care of business 123-96, which in the past, typically Kings teams don't take advantage of teams without their star players. So it was good to see the Kings do that. And then on Sunday, the Kings came back home and they beat the Bulls 110-101, even with Zach LaVine dropping 41 points. So, Javon, I want to start with you. Why do you think the Kings are so streaky as they had 7-game winning streak, 3-game losing streak, and now a 3-game winning streak?
I mean, it kind of all rides on their all-star players, Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox. We saw Malik Monk put up 30 points in one of the games, but De'Aaron had 11 points. Like, that just can't happen. When you have a guy coming off the bench who's dropping 30, De'Aaron usually averages anywhere from like 24, 26 points a game. Sabonis usually has to average, I'd say, anywhere from like 19-ish. He has to usually clean the glass with about 12 rebounds. Is usually what he averages. The Kings just when they're playing in these, when they went on that 3-game losing streak, you kind of saw teams putting up 105, 110, 120 and stuff like that. So it's kind of just like there has to be some consistency on the defensive end of the floor. And I think De'Aaron Fox, who is kind of in that all-star conversation this year, and Domantas Sabonis have to play well in some type of way. It's extra. It's on top action when you get a Malik Monk in double figures. When you get a Kevin Huerter that hits 5 threes in a game. When you have a Davion Mitchell locking up their best defender. All of that on top is extra. But the main course, the foundation of the team, De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis have to play well. And I just think in that little 3-game skid, they weren't playing well, with the exception of, I'd say, in the Boston Celtics game. De'Aaron played well in that game, but they kind of just got edged out at the end, kind of just, lost control of the game at the end of the game. But with the exception of that, on that 3-game losing streak, they were De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis weren't really playing well in that sequence.
Yeah, and Malik Monk, your favorite player on the
monster,
Kings, Javon,
the
the monster,
the monster.
I'm hearing a lot.
Pump fake.
Oh yeah, and like I'm hearing a lot of people say like, oh, so many people were wrong about Malik Monk, and I'm starting to think back to myself because I'm like, okay, do I stand by the fact that I said he's not a monster?
Me and Kev used to watch him in high school, like his highlights all the time. We used to always watch his highlights.
So Javon is known for years. So Kevin, do you think I've heard a lot about Malik Monk being the glue to the Sacramento Kings team? And if you had told me that Malik Monk was the glue to a team, I would assume that team was going to be well under 500. But yet this team is the opposite, and they're playing extremely well, and they're on a 3-game winning streak. So what have you liked that you've seen?
Man, just the camaraderie they're coming together every night. Like you said, Malik Monk, there's nothing else I have to say. 6th man of the year. I'm rooting for him. The first game of the 3-game road streak was Atlanta, back-to-back. It was just an ugly night from the jump. We were always in the game, but we couldn't really close the gap. So that's just a back-to-back game. And then the Celtic game, playing the best team in the league, it shows that we can't turn the ball over. Anyways, the Celtics are playing on a whole nother level. That it's still unexpected, still not good for us to lose, but we can't complain. But then the Suns game, we had that game. We really should have won that game. That game hurt. I
didn't know that Devin Booker had 44 at the end of that game. That was
insane. I did.
I saw
all 44. Just the first 2 were really bad. But we showed that we can rally. That should have been a 2-game losing streak, but it came down to the last minute, so I can't complain. And then, like Toddy mentioned, we can't let Book go off for 44. And a game without Chris Paul, that was definitely a game we had a chance to win in.
And so, Gary, how about you? What were your thoughts on this Kings recent 3-game winning streak?
Man, I think the Kings, again, like I talked about last week, we're going to be streaky, guys. I think a little bit in the beginning because we're still trying to get our feet under us. But I think that we're a good type of streaky where we're trending upwards. But I'm going to have to disagree with Vaughn right now with this De'Aaron Fox slander. Not only slander, I'm like, I agree with you, Vaughn, that he's going to have to play right and have to play up to a standard. Him and Sabonis, because they're both the engines. But at the same time, I'm actually liking how I'm seeing Monk step up. A Davis night, TD night, a Metu night, a Trey Lyles night, a Herter night. Like, that's going to be good for us because it's going to give these guys confidence. And when it comes playoff time, to be deep, And so I think that's going to really help us because we don't got 2, let's be honest, De'Aaron Fox is great. He's playing great right now, all-star caliber type player, but we don't have a LeBron. We don't have a KD type player where it's like, give him the ball and go and get out the way and score 50 and just right here, everyone just play the roles. Like, it's going to be good for everyone's confidence if we can be lethal in many different ways, especially the offensive running. So I feel like, yeah, you're right. De'Aaron's going to have to play, obviously going to have to show up, but it's good that he's learned to distribute because maybe in the past that might have been a difficult thing for him. So in this offense, I feel like he's really growing. And then on Kevin's point, I think, like you said, Monk, man, you can't say nothing about Monk. He's just a spark plug right now, Sean. It's just simple as that. I never knew that you could just see it in him right now. I think you can see he's growing. He's in his 6th, 7th year. So I feel like they're all just clicking all cylinders. And I just think they're really the ceiling hasn't hit yet. So it's actually good that the Bucks is having bad games and we're still winning. Because, baby, back in the past, we'd be dropping these games left and right. So that's what I'm saying. I feel like they're, winning tight games and they're, building that camaraderie when it comes playoff time. When it's like we're not going away and it's the playoff atmosphere, it's going to be pretty tight right there. None of these guys have been in that moment. So it's going to be good for us to see that right now.
Yeah, personally, I was really impressed by the weekend in general because beating the Pacers and breaking that losing streak is one thing because that was an emotional game. And that the rest of the guys, like Harrison Barnes, was one of the only players to truly admit that it was an emotional game going into that Pacers game. And so getting that win is one thing. But then actually going to LA and not letting up against the Clippers team that were without their 2 stars, which we have seen the Kings are notorious for doing in the past as they play to the level of their competition. And so they were able to get that, but then they came back home and got a win in a back-to-back against a team in Chicago that is going to make the playoffs most likely in the East. So it's been a good 3 games for the Kings so far, but
Chicago's
now
been playing
they
like shit lately. That's all.
yeah, but it's going to be
they have
a long
little
season,
troubles.
though.
They have a little trouble. They're not taking enough threes. They got a lot of troubles, but they got 2 all-star guys that they played pretty solid defense against.
They already got DeRozan and Vucevic in trade talks with the Lakers. I mean, everyone's in trade talks.
I mean, everyone's trade Lakers. That's all year. Come on now.
Yeah,
That's
the Lakers are
annual
constantly
thing.
in that rumor mill. Exactly. And so now the Kings, they
Don't be
go on a
surprised real
6.
quick.
Yeah.
Tonight you're gonna see LeBron quote, "I might go to Cleveland." Like you might see that tonight. Who knows? Come on now. LeBron want to mix it up, make it fun for us. Yeah.
Well, that was the thing about LeBron's extension that he signed before this season that was really interesting is because everyone really thought that was a real possibility, but then he signed the extension. Now, who knows? But we'll see. Anyways, speaking of Cleveland, the Kings are going to be playing in Cleveland on Friday night as a part of this 6-game road trip. That's going to be the second on this 6-game trip. But guys, over the next week until we meet again and chat about the Kings got 4 games. So they play tomorrow night at Milwaukee against the Bucks. That's going to be tough. Yeah, Javon putting up the big L. Yeah, it seems likely. Then the Kings play at the Cavaliers on Friday night. You have to imagine that the Cavs are going to probably get their get back from when the Kings beat them in Sacramento. So that's another tough game. Then they play Sunday afternoon against the Knicks, Sunday night on the East Coast, but Sunday afternoon for us. Javon says that looks good. And then finally, next Tuesday night, a week from today, the Kings play at the Philadelphia 76ers. So we're going to reverse the order on this one. Gary, give me your prediction on the Kings' 4 games over the next week. What's their record?
Guys, I got 3-1, and they lose to the Knicks. They beat all the good teams. Watch, they beat all the good teams because I feel like we're getting close. We're stepping at that point. It's going. The Knicks Randall actually cooked us last year at home. He almost scored a 50-piece. So I wouldn't be surprised that him and Sabonis are good matchups, and maybe they can cause some trouble here. Milwaukee, I feel like they just lost to Lakers, so obviously they don't want some blood right now. But I feel like the Kings, that's the good thing about our Kings right now, you guys. We match up so good against everybody. Offensively, we're cooking all cylinders. And like Vaughn said, De'Aaron and Sabonis sometimes are having bad games. So I feel like right now, this is a perfect test for Sabonis. You're going against Giannis. You're going to go against the Twin Towers in Cleveland again. You're going to go against hopefully Embiid if he's playing. So you're going to go against some big guys, which are really only going to be in the East. So it's going to be a good test for him. So if he can go 3-1 and he can carry his own and show that he's going to be a problem when he comes out there too, instead of the opposite of these guys are coming here to cause a problem, I feel like our King is going to be coming back home with some sugar, man. Come on now.
Light the beam.
It's going to be feeling good. Yeah, I'm like that. Better light the beam on the road. I know they've been doing that. I was hoping it wasn't just a home thing. Let's light it every time we win. Come on now.
Every time we win.
It's pretty interesting. Yeah, I saw the beam was well lit on Saturday night after that win in LA on Saturday. So Kev, on you. How do you think the Kings are going to do in the next 4 games?
So last time you asked me this question, I said 3-1, and we started a winning streak. So I'm a double down, man. I'm 4-0. I think we're gonna go 4-0. We've been playing really well. Yeah, Giannis is a monster, but it takes a team. And if where the defense, he's coming back, he's still warming up. And De'Aaron Fox and Drew are going to battle it out. So it really just comes down to Giannis. Milwaukee has a great supporting cast, but I just think the way we're playing right now, we're going to roll in there and win. That's probably going to be our hardest game. I don't see the Knicks giving up much of a fight, and the Sixers are the Sixers. So we don't know who's going to play from night to night. So we'll have to deal with that one. But like Gary did say, it's going to be a big test for Sabonis. On the defensive end, he's going to have to lock up and do what he can do. He showed against the Cavs last time that he can do it. And every other now and then he'll show up and he'll bang. But now he's the top bigs in the league. We're going to have to see him bang. I'm here for 4-0, baby.
Back
All
into
right.
the trip, New York. It might be a little sleepy right there in Knicksville. Hopefully not, but
Knicksville. I don't know if I've ever heard that before. Javon, how about you? 4 games coming up this week.
Now, we said this is 4 games, right? Not 5.
Yeah, so, 4 games until we talk again next Tuesday.
So I'm gonna be like Sean, a little bit more pessimistic this week. I got them going 2-2, 500. So I think tomorrow, Giannis, you could chalk that one up. It's in Milwaukee. Giannis is a monster, as Kevin already said. He's probably gonna have 35 and like 14. I'm just spitballing here. Nobody on the Kings can really guard Giannis. No one in the league can really guard Giannis. So I would imagine the Kings probably might go zone against the Bucks tomorrow, just to kind of defend the paint, maybe force them to shoot. But then they have shooters, Pat Connaughton, Grayson Allen, guys like that. So I got the Kings losing tomorrow. I just witnessed Donovan Mitchell drop 43 tonight against LeBron at home. The Kings beat the Cavs earlier this year. That was at home. That kind of spark plugged their win streak. And I just think DG and Donovan Mitchell kind of have something to say about that. So I think they're probably going to lose that game. Going to New York, the Knicks kind of just lose to everybody, so they're not a very consistent team. So I think that should be an easy win for the Kings. And the Sixers game, I think the Kings will win that game as well. So probably by the time we talk next time, they'll be on a 2-game win streak. And there's so much inconsistencies with the Sixers right now. They just lost to the Rockets last night in double overtime. Or was it just regular overtime? But they had James Harden coming back, and Joel Embiid is kind of in and out of the lineup, so you never know with those guys. So I see the Kings going 2-2 on this little road trip.
Yeah, I do as well. I think you and I are spot on for that, Javon, because I don't see the Kings beating the Bucks. I mean, my guy, money making Middleton, as Kendrick Perkins likes to call him. He's back now with Milwaukee. They got the three-headed monster out there. And like you said, who's going to stop Giannis is the question. And then getting to Friday night in Cleveland, I chalk that up as another L because, like I said, I think Cleveland's going to get their get back. But, hey, against the Knicks, as long as you don't play down to your competition level, then you should win that one. And then, like Kev said, you don't know who's going to be playing night to night. I think, Kev, you said that, or Gary. Oh, yeah. So, you don't know who's going to be playing night to night with the Philadelphia 76ers.
Like the Bucks and the Cavs are like the two best teams in the league, like one of the top teams in the league. So it's not like you're losing to freaking some slapdick team.
And it's not like we already beat the Cavs.
Hey.
No, I think it's like a flip and a coin. We lost a few tough games at the beginning. Now hopefully we get the other side of the stick and win the close game. So
shock the world, baby.
Yeah, and just like James just said, he thinks that the Kings are going to shock the world tomorrow and beat the Bucks. James, I hope that you're right because we are talking playoffs right now. We are talking playoffs with the Kings this year. It is a real possibility. And
Kev, where the Kings at?
Right and now? We're still scared to say it. Don't lie. It's 25 games in, and we're still scared to say playoffs.
Where are the Kings at in the Western Conference? Are they fifth, fourth?
Fifth.
I think the last time I saw they were fifth, yeah.
They're tied with the fourth, though. So they're not that far back. Only 2.5 games out of first, so they're not too far away here. We still in the hunt.
I just want to say what's up to Julian as well. The Kings are fifth. So right now, the Kings aren't even talking play-in. They are talking playoffs. So, guys, let's keep it moving here on Stats Over Politics, episode number 4. And let's get to some NFL. But unfortunately for Javon and I, history has repeated itself with deja vu. Jimmy Garoppolo is once again injured. However, the initial report sounded horrible that he was going to be out for the year with a broken left foot after the Niners got a 33-17 win against the Dolphins this past weekend. They thought that Jimmy was going to be out for the year. He was going to have surgery. Now Adam Schefter comes out this afternoon and he says maybe he'll be back in 7 to 8 weeks. He doesn't need surgery. But nevertheless, the 49ers are without both Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo now for at least the next 7 to 8 weeks, it seems. So, Javon, I'm going to throw it to you first because you are a 49ers fan, as well known around these parts. And so it was a big win against the Dolphins. The Dolphins are a good team. The Niners defense made Tua look like Tua of last year before Mike McDaniel came to town. But yet the Niners lose their backup/starting quarterback. And it's crazy to me because there's always been so much talk about Jimmy Garoppolo not being that great and not being the guy to get the 49ers to the promised land. But now that he's gotten hurt, everyone and their mama, at least in the national media, is saying that the 49ers, their chances for this season are completely over now because Jimmy Garoppolo was the answer. So what are your thoughts on this whole conundrum?
Well, I was kind of confused when it first initially happened. I was wondering like what was happening. Like Jimmy's not out there. It was like the first series he got hurt. And then I saw the replay and I was like, oh, he like snapped his ankle or something. Like it just looked bad. Looked like he broke something. And I was like, all right. So that means Brock Purdy's coming in. Yay, Brock. And then, you know, I kind of saw him. He started to play. And he was making some throws, and I was like, "Okay, Purdy, sitting in the pocket, he spun into a sack, albeit he looked like a rookie at first, you know, but he kind of had to settle in. But then when you got guys, when you just got Pro Bowlers on your team, when you got Kittle, when you got a Deebo Samuel, when you got a Christian McCaffrey, when you got a Brandon Ayuk that's making DBs kind of shuffle, it's gonna be tough, you know. Albeit he threw an interception to, you know, one of the best corners in the league, Xavier Howard. He was making some throws. He kind of was. I was a little scared at first when he was like rolling out and throwing across his body, like, Jesus, just throw the ball away or slide or just figure out how to get rid of the ball. But this is his first game action ever. He was literally the last pick in the draft. He never thought he was ever going to see the field. There's a stat that he's the first Mr. Irrelevant to throw a forward pass in the Super Bowl era. Albeit he won the game against one of the best teams in the league. You're going up against, you know, a Tua, and the Miami defense is no slouch. You got guys like Bradley Chubb, you got Xavier Howard, you know, you got Javon Holland, you know, you got, you know, pretty solid defensive players. And I thought that Brock Purdy kind of stood in there and he held his own. You know, we were albeit going against, you know, our former coach, Mike McDaniel. So it kind of was a little bit of a jab, a little bit, you know, an extra little umph that we kind of still got the win with our third string quarterback, who just so happens to be Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah. So, Kevin, now what are your thoughts? Because I know that you were never really a believer. Oh, he's ready. He's ready, ladies and gentlemen, for our audio viewers. He just cracked his knuckles. But you were never a believer in the 49ers led by Jimmy G or Trey Lance for that matter. So, I mean, I don't think I can necessarily ask you, are the 49ers done now that Jimmy G is hurt? But just what are your overall thoughts on this situation?
Whew, it's a rough day to be a Niner fan. I'll tell you that. You guys are bringing in Josh Johnson and just doing whatever you can. We got Toddy talking about Cam Newton in the group text. So Toddy can sit here like beat a big game like he's all about Purdy, but Toddy was throwing all types of names in the group text as soon as it went down. But
Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, like Jesus Christ.
That was literally when it happened. Like,
might as well go get Tony Romo behind the broadcast desk. Go pick him up.
Our coach even said, "Is Joe Montana? We got to give Joe Montana a call. Somebody
or Steve Young."
I thought it was gonna be Baker. I thought Caleb Williams was gonna come out early. I don't know what was gonna happen.
We might go say Kev.
But like Toddy said, the Niners are as much as I hate to say it, they're a well-oiled machine. Like Toddy said, you can throw another quarterback in there from like you saw from Trey Lance to Jimmy G, and nothing falls off. So Purdy, like Toddy had to say, you know, being Mr. Irrelevant to even study the film because you know you're not going to play. You guys understand there are 259 players drafted every year.
He was the last person,
and he was 259. Homeboy went to the game like, oh, there's no way I'm playing.
No way.
But
259, you still made it though.
You still made it. So credit to him. And at Iowa State, he was actually pretty good. I had to look up his stats because I was going to come in here and flame him. But I mean,
paired with Breece Hall,
he got a scholarship to Alabama. I saw that, and they said that he did.
He actually declined it. Yep, I seen that too.
He went to Iowa State. So that was actually crazy. Yeah.
So I mean, See, you guys got the weapons, but at the end of the day, everybody knows it's a quarterback-driven league. And I think next week it's going to show. To compare him to Tua, you know, it's okay. Tua's Tua, but Tom Brady, and let me rephrase, single Tom Brady. Oh my gosh,
he's undefeated. I think, or he's
undefeated. He ain't losing no more.
Yeah.
Got rid of them kids and that wife. No more distractions.
I'm not nervous.
He crazy, K. He didn't get rid of no kids.
Yeah, and also our guy Manny, he brings up a good point because people forget that Jimmy G took the Niners to the Super Bowl and to an NFC Championship game.
You guys always remind us.
Well, I mean, I think that Manny's comment was directly to what I said about how, like, now that Jimmy G got hurt, that everyone thinks the Niners are completely done. But, like, were they really in a great spot before? Because, Gary, I know that you also were a non-believer when I was saying, will the 49ers win the NFC now that they have CMC and everything? So, for you, Gary, do the Niners have a shot at least winning a playoff game this year now?
Kevin, this is sad to say, but I really hate saying this, but you guys still got a chance. That's the thing. Like, you guys' team is still good. Like, your team is – they're not done, Kev. I'm sorry. I really want them to be done.
A chance to do what? You got to specify. A chance to do what?
I asked him if they would win a playoff game. Will they win a playoff game?
Oh, yeah, they can do that. That's fine.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. I'm in my mind. You're right. Let me specify. NFC Championship game. Can they still get there? Yes. You know why? Because their team was never built, like we said, around the quarterback. Their team can carry Jimmy G or carry anybody else. They're not Patrick Mahomes type team. They're not Lamar Jackson type team where he's doing that person right there is doing the carrying. So I think that's one thing good for the Niners. But let's see now. I don't think the Niners. But who do you guys go against? Oh, my cousin just hopped in the chat. Mr. Cowboys himself. I was about to say. Boy. To be honest with you, like. Who are you guys going against? Vikings?
They got the Buccaneers. They got the Buccaneers coming up this week, and then they also play the Seahawks. They play the Seahawks on Thursday Night Football. Yeah. Right now, they are directly competing with the Seahawks for that division crown. Otherwise, the Niners would have to go the Cowboys route that your boy Arvinder is going to go through, going on the road throughout the playoffs. Because, as we know, the Eagles are going to win the division.
This NFC is horrible. Like, it's just horrible to me. I don't know who to pick. Like, I still don't know who to pick. I'm going with Cavs Eagles. I'm pretty sure at this point. That's what I'm saying. I'm going with your Eagles. They still haven't proven nothing to me, yo. Like, especially like looking back at that playoff game. I don't know. Randomly, just the highlights of that playoff game last year just popped up on my YouTube feed, Kev. And I watched it again. Oh my God, I don't know about that. That just kind of scares me. But it's a new year, new team. This is sad to say, but these Cowboys, man, I don't want to say. My cousin's going to quote me, record this, send it in the family group chat. But the Cowboys, man, they're hitting. Luck is on their side, but they're never lucky. So it's like, why are they gonna get lucky this year? So sad to say, but you Niners still got a chance, Sean, Vaughn. Y'all good. Don't worry about it. Y'all still got a chance, but y'all win the whole thing? No, that's not happening.
Hey, I appreciate Julian for feeling our pain and being a sympathetic Cowboys fan. All right, now let's get to the other. I say these are the semi-local team. This is the Las Vegas Raiders, who we were talking about the Kings being streaky. The Raiders, they have won 3 games in a row. The Raiders have gone streaking, and I will continue to ask this question every single week until they lose. Will the Raiders make the playoffs?
Somebody pull up that schedule. Who are the Raiders' schedules? Somebody pull up that schedule.
It doesn't matter. It just depends what team's going to show up on Sunday. What Raiders team shows up on Sunday.
So Kevin, for you, is the answer to that question no? The Raiders will not make the playoffs, despite the fact that who knows? Like, did Derek Carr's emotional press conference turn the whole season around? Find out on the next episode of Stats Over Politics.
Real quick, I got you guys. We got the Rams. Okay, we got New England. Okay, we got Pittsburgh. We can be spoilers now. No, don't sleep. We got SF. We got SF. No, and we got KC.
Who was the last game? You said KC?
KC.
That sounds like 3 wins and 2 losses to me. That sounds like 3 wins and 2 losses. I don't know if that gets them in. I think they're like 5-7 or something like that, right?
Yeah, they're 5-7. They're 5-7. They're 2 games behind the Jets. The Jets have a tough schedule. I looked at the other day. The Patriots. They're still in that division. I got my money on the Chargers. The Chargers got to make it, guys. Come on, I got to see Justin Herbert in action in the playoffs. This is going to be 2 years of robbery. It's going to be 2 years of robbery.
Rather than going all around. So Kevin, I think you said no. The Raiders will not make the playoffs. Gary, is it a no for you as well? Because to me, I'm going to say no because based on their final 5 games, I think they'll go 3-2. That gets them to 8-9. That's not going to be good enough for even the 7th wild card. I don't think that'll be good enough for the 7th wild card. But I mean, Manny thinks if the Raiders defense holds up, then they're going to make the playoffs. Gary, Javon, do either of you think that they're going to make the playoffs?
No, I got the Chargers. I'm putting my money on the Chargers.
Hey, man, they just beat the Chargers. I saw Devontae Adams unstoppable these past couple of weeks. This is the Devontae Adams that we all know and love, albeit he is on a team that has a losing record. Devontae had an 8 for 177 and 2 touchdowns this past week. So if he plays like that these last couple of games, the Raiders got a shot. And albeit, Manny, if this Raiders defense does hold up, we kind of saw if we see Max Crosby, if we see Chandler Jones, if these guys are able to cause havoc in the backfield, the Raiders have a shot. But their DBs are atrocious. Like, they're just bad, man. Like, their back seven is not good at all. But albeit, I think the front seven is pretty good. But I think their offense is kind of starting to click a little bit. Josh Jacobs is almost averaging like 100 yards these past couple of games. If he's able to get 140, if he's able to get 140 these past, and the offense is coming from two guys, Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams. Imagine if they would have had Hunter Renfrow and Darren Waller. These guys were able to play
anyone.
If that core four is able to be there, this Raiders team probably would be in the playoff race. I think earlier in the year, they kind of got up to a really slow start, and the Raiders are kind of just now starting to catch up now. So I think it's too little too late because of the last 5 games of their schedule. I think they're going to go 3-2. I think they'll beat the Pats. They'll beat the Rams next week. So it's just the AFC is tough. You got Burrow, Herbert, Allen, Lamar. Lamar's hurt. So now we'll kind of see, do the Ravens. Harbaugh said that the Ravens or that Lamar will be out about 1 to 3 weeks. So we'll see what the Ravens look like in those incoming weeks. But Hundley, I think he's kind of has a little bit there. He's able to keep the team afloat. He is not Lamar Jackson. So I think the Raiders are going to need help for them to be able to get in the playoffs. But as of right now, Toddy? I'm going to say that the Raiders don't get into the playoffs.
Who you got getting in there, though?
Say that one more time.
Who you got going to the play? You got the Jets, Patriots, Chargers, or Raiders? Or you want to maybe say my Steelers? You look at our schedule, you guys. Hey, we're only 2 games back. Kevin, come on, y'all. Don't roll your eyes. I'm telling you.
You like the delusional Niner fans over here, man.
We got Carolina. We got Ravens. 2 games. The rest 3 games right there.
I gotta go with the Jets right now. I think that their defense is
Mike White.
Their defense is like literally almost unstoppable. You got Sauce Gardner. He's a rookie. He's shutting down top players. Albeit that he went against Justin Jefferson this week, so he got a little bit of a wake-up call there. But their D-line, they have our old coach, Robert Saleh, who's a defensive genius. So the defensive side of the ball is taken care of. I think right now the Jets are kind of just they need a quarterback. Zach Wilson isn't it. They're kind of starting to wave their white flag on him, even though Robert Saleh said, Zach Wilson, he's not done with, this isn't his last game. But you got guys wearing Mike White shirts. The players, the fans, they're all taking on Mike White. And Mike White, he's not really, I don't know if he's the long-term answer, but he's getting guys like Garrett Wilson the ball, Corey Davis. We saw Elijah Moore make a kind of a special guest appearance. They did lose their star running back in Breece Hall, and he was kind of, they didn't really know what to do offensively because the quarterback was giving the other team the ball. You couldn't put up points. And then he was saying, I don't think it's my fault that my team's losing. And you're not putting up points on offense. With Mike White, they're putting up points. Mike White didn't really make plays in the red zone because they got to the red zone 6 times and they didn't really come up with touchdowns. I think if they're able to find a way to score in the red zone, they'll be fine. Garrett Wilson is a, potential offensive rookie of the year candidate. Elijah Moore is a dog. I think Corey Davis is a guy that can get open in space. I think if their defense is just too good for them not to get in. So
you got the Jets.
I'll say the Jets get in.
Okay, so now I don't know if you guys saw the news of the Titans firing their general manager. I believe his name is John Wilson. Mm-hmm. And I have a lot to think that it has a lot to do with this past weekend when the Eagles defeated the Titans 35-10. And A.J. Brown, former Titans wide receiver, had 8 receptions for 119 yards and 2 touchdowns on 10 targets. So, Kevin, I asked this question of you. Do you think that A.J. Brown's performance this past weekend is the reason why John Wilson got fired?
It had a big part to play in it, but I don't think it's the main reason. You can just tell they've been making a lot of bad decisions. in the drafts, but definitely Trey Burks to go out there and get hurt, and you see A.J. Brown step out of bounds on a touchdown and then they run the same play to the opposite side and score a touchdown. It was a big slap into the face into the Titans, so that it definitely played a role in it, but I definitely don't think his performance was the whole thing.
Gary, how about you? Do you think that the owner seeing their former star player absolutely cook them? Like, because, I mean, A.J. Brown had me laughing. I'm sorry, Gary, I'll just say this. Is that A.J. Brown had me laughing my butt off because after one of his touchdowns, his celebration was whipping the goalpost. And after they asked him about it, he was like, yeah, I still love you, but I got to give you this whooping. But then I gave you the hug at the end because I still love you. And I just think that the Titans ownership just had enough.
Yeah, if you can talk about a revenge game, A.J. Brown came with an A+ revenge game right there. That's how you come back against your old team right there. But I think really, like Kevin said, they fired their GM really multiple different reasons. A couple of drafts they were able to hit. They really haven't found. I know Tannehill's been doing good. They really haven't found their quarterback yet. They lost a big play receiver. So I feel like there's some big things here that are not. I feel like the GM and the head coach are not on the same line about, because I feel like their head coach is one of the best head coaches in the league, and their team always fights, and they're always in these dog games, and they always got a chance. So them just getting blown out a few times this year and just not getting over the hump, I feel like it's probably about time for the Titans to make a change and really just try to find a quarterback, because they got a lot of talent on that team, man. I'm telling you, that coach brings a lot of grit and grind. His team is always their team always is riddled with injuries the last 2 years. So them always just being in the hunt, where they're at right now, is a big, congrats to them. And you got to give some credit to the GM, obviously, because he put it together. But I think when you start getting to this level, like kind of like the NBA and the Jazz, like we start getting to that level where you're knocking on the door, but you can't really bust the door open to get to the next level. Some changes got to be made. And sorry for the GM of the Titans. That's what had to happen to him.
Our guy Manny on YouTube said getting rid of A.J. Brown was stupid for the Titans. It's not like they had a great number 2 wide receiver, because think back, Julio Jones, now he's with the Bucks and he's not really even doing that much either. Javon, how about you? Do you think that this was just kind of a culmination of things, or do you think that this big game from A.J. Brown just kind of put it over the edge?
Absolutely 1,000%. A.J. Brown is one of the top, you could even argue he's top 5, one of the top best receivers in the league. A.J. Brown is a part of your offense that makes you score points. The Titans aren't able to move the ball right now. He has more touchdowns than the receivers on the Titans. And you can go back to last year. They had Derrick Henry, albeit it was before he got hurt. A.J. Brown, Julio Jones. Just that accumulation of just guys and names, that was kind of their offense. But then Derrick Henry gets hurt. Julio Jones is out. And now it's kind of like, all right, who's going to get the ball? Who's getting the ball? Obviously, you're going to A.J. Brown, right? And he's the kind of guy that could go for 150 and 2 touchdowns like that. So when you trade a guy, and I think there was some confusion on draft night when you were like, okay, A.J. Brown, he's kind of one of those guys that wants to get a new deal. He wants to stay in Tennessee. They showed the reaction of when they announced the trade to the Eagles. You kind of saw the head coach, Mike Vrabel, kind of get up and was like, okay, what the fuck's going on here? Like, why? He came out and said, I'm not trading A.J. Brown. He said that. You can go back and look that up. A.J., why would you even think about trade? Just pay the man. He's one of the top receivers in the league. Why not? And then he goes to a Philadelphia, and he's with a Jalen Hurts. He's with a great running game with Miles Sanders. He's just killing it in Philadelphia. It's perfect for him. It's literally perfect. It's match made in heaven. And he's showing you why. And it didn't help that he had, Kev can probably give me the stats here, but he had 2 touchdowns. Again, he could have had 3, but one of them got called back. So, I mean, what can you do? And now it's kind of like, the reason why the Titans are good is literally because of Mike Vrabel. Coaching itself can literally get you to the playoffs. No matter what your team looks like skill-wise, that defense is kind of playing out of his ass, I think. And Tannehill is playing a little bit above average, because we saw Tannehill in Miami, and he kind of, when he got traded over here, he was kind of looking like, oh my God, Ryan Tannehill is this guy. No, it's because of Mike Vrabel. and they're a great coach, and a little bit because of their division. Their division is garbage. We saw the time. We're looking at the Jags, who kept
the Colts got absolutely destroyed
Kevin,
on Sunday Night
Jags.
Football.
And,
Hold on, Kev. Jags. We still
the
got a bet. Don't forget.
Texans, like it's kind of like Vrabel is the best coach they have. You could argue they have the best players, but it's really because of Vrabel, who's kind of making everything happen. He's kind of the glue, and they're winning their division. So
Exactly.
I absolutely think trading AJ Brown was absolutely a mistake.
And I just want to acknowledge this question real quick. We don't have time for it, but another week we got to circle back on who the top 5 wide receivers are, because
that's a tough one.
Kevin said he's top 5 and he's not number 4, so Kevin at least has him top 3 right now, and his guy Manny doesn't even know if he's in the top 5. Okay, right now, give me just 5 real quick,
man.
All right, go ahead, go ahead, Toddy. 5 real quick. Give it to me in 10 seconds.
Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs, Jamar Chase. Got to throw Tyreek in there. Got to throw Tyreek in there.
Okay, that's 4.
Oh, I got to put AJ in there.
Oh, you got to throw Adams in there?
No, Tays.
No Devontae Adams, no DeAndre
Hopkins.
Tays in there.
I was thinking Hop too, bro. He's been injured.
Yep, and that's why we have to revisit this on another day for sure, because that is a discussion in itself. All right, guys. So we said that this was going to be primarily a college football episode, but here we are 40 minutes in, and we haven't even gotten to college football yet. So it's time to get to it right now.
College football, what's that?
Oh, yeah, Javon wanted to talk nothing but college football last week, but this week he's ducking it, and that is because his USC Trojans choked. I almost said the USC Trojans choked against Utah, lost to Utah again this year. So, unfortunately, Javon, the top 4 is as follows for the college football playoff, and the Trojans are not in. So, number 1, you have Georgia, then Michigan. TCU is number 3, even though they lost to Kansas State in the Big 12 championship game. But it was a really good game, and it was TCU's only loss of the season. Number 4, the Ohio State Buckeyes, who have 1 loss on their schedule, unlike number 5, Alabama. Then you have Tennessee at number 6, Utah at number 7, and those USC Trojans who were at number 4, they are suddenly at number 8. And they're playing in the Valero Alamo Bowl or something like that? No, it's not.
Playing in the Cotton Bowl, assholes.
Oh, okay. All right, they'll be in the Cotton Bowl. So, anyways, I want to start this off with you, Javon. Did the college football playoff committee get it right with these final 4 teams, having Georgia, Michigan, TCU, and Ohio State?
By default, they had to get it right, because somehow after Ohio State lost, they were still number 5. So they needed, they got some help. TCU lost. I'm kind of surprised that TCU is still in. I thought they were going to get knocked out, and Alabama was kind of sneak in through the back door. But it kind of it hurts, man. It just I'm gonna still give you some stats. 363, 3 touchdowns and a pick. I mean, the guy, we didn't lose because of that guy. He's still gonna win the Heisman, albeit the finalists were CJ Stroud, Caleb, Duggan, and
Stetson Bennett.
He's not gonna win it.
He'll be there.
He'll be there, but free ride to New York, your room's paid for. Like, who wouldn't go? Like,
let him have some fun, man. Let him get some recognition. But knocking guys down.
I mean, it's just Caleb. Our defense just wasn't. Utah is our number. I think
it's almost like someone tried to tell you that.
Every time we play Utah, we just freeze up. I don't know why. We were up 17-3 at beginning of the second quarter, and then halftime came. The game was tied. And then all of a sudden, the defense just shit on themselves and just forgot how to play football.
47-24. Didn't get the chance to mention that yet. 47-24.
It didn't look good when your QB is paying fuck Utah on his nails, and then everyone's getting asked about it. Like, hey, what's going on? Did you know that he painted that on his nails? And then freaking Cam Rising is talking all this.
What do y'all think about that? That was bad, you think?
Yeah, it didn't look. It didn't look. I thought I was. Yeah, like let's do it, bro. Like Caleb is just.
I don't
Fuck
know,
Utah.
Vaughn.
Like,
that's
they
like
beat us
poking at the
earlier in
bear
the
for no
year,
reason.
and so it's just like, we thought that we were the better team, but albeit it kind of comes down to Lincoln Riley bringing everybody over to USC, through the transfer portal. It's hard to turn a team around from literally a team that was dog shit a year before to go into the playoff the next year. It at least is going to take you 2 years because the defense has to get right. I think they were like 200th in like defensive rating in like the whole all of college sports, but we were like top 3 in offense. So when there's that big of a gap, it's going to come down to, okay, you're scoring 45 points, but you're also giving up 60 points. It comes down to just basic math. When your team is not able to get stops, you're not going to be able to win games. So, hey, props to Ohio State. They got in fair and square, man.
Ohio State. Make sure
they're playing. They're going to go up
put
against
some respect on their name.
They're going up against those Georgia Bulldogs, who I think you guys were like a 6.5 point dog, which is actually surprising. I thought Georgia was going to at least be a 2-touchdown favorite.
Of course you did.
But hey, man, CJ Stroud, the Heisman Trophy winner, he's going to bring you guys to another national championship. I just think you guys are too soft, in my opinion. I don't think that I think Georgia's going to kind of.
Oh, God.
The world.
Okay. All right. Enough.
Caleb's still going to win the Heisman. We'll be all right. We'll be back next year. Not worried about it.
All right. Broken record now at this point. I mean, it's almost like we tried to tell you. You were like, doesn't matter. Caleb's going to put up over 40. Doesn't matter. Caleb's going to put up over 40. Caleb put up 24 points in the Pac-12 championship game. And, I mean, you were so confident that they were going to get it done in year 1. But now you're like, hey, look at last year. It's a 2-year project. But last week, somebody was so
ain't the quarterback's fault. He threw for 360 and 3 touchdowns. It ain't his fault. You can't play DB. Shit.
We tried to tell you that. And I mean, Manny's on it. Defense wins championships. James is on it. Caleb Williams, emphasis on the L, which is what he's about to take in that Heisman Trophy ceremony.
Is he not going to win the Heisman?
No, not at all, Toddy.
All right, hold on. That's the next topic. Let's just get through this one real quick. Kevin, did the CFP get it right?
100%, man. Besides, I was kind of hesitant on TCU making it in, but you have to take in their 1-loss team, and if they would have got beaten out by a 2-loss team for that 4 spot, it would have been a lot of chaos. So, yeah, I was definitely shocked, but I know we're short on time. I just want to let you guys in on the group chat. So, Toddy was updating us the whole game. I told Toddy, I don't have cable. I'm delayed. You're ruining the experience for me. So, I said, you know what? Just keep updating us, Toddy. So, the last thing was fumble. And then the next message from Toddy goes, fuck. It's over. I let delusion cloud my judgment. We're not ready yet. Defense ain't good enough. I just wanted to throw that in there.
Thank you.
Quick. It hits you fast.
Hey, I appreciate Kevin for letting the audience in on a little bit of the reality.
Private matter.
Oh yeah. Well, all right. Well, we exposed it here on Stats Over Politics. Gary, for you, did they get it right with the top 4?
Yeah, my general knowledge of the college football. I like to play a little DA, devil's advocate with you guys. I don't know. Okay, record-wise, I've been looking at a lot of stuff today. Record-wise, obviously, I feel like they got it right. Record-wise, you got to give. You can't put a two-lose team in there right there. But I don't know. I just like to see Bama in there, guys. Come on now. Like, I was watching Shannon. This is a Bama Invitational usually, so it's like, why
you guys see Nick Saban go on?
I feel like usually, yeah, exactly. You see Nick Saban preaching. I know, like everyone's looking at it bad.
Word out there.
I know, but like they play. You got some points. They play a tougher schedule, but I get it. TCU only lost 1 game. That's how it goes. You play who you're supposed to play. So we're gonna give TCU the chance. All I know is I can't wait to watch Georgia and Michigan in the championship. It's gonna be so much fun.
Next year? Because this
year, I don't think Sean caught that.
No, I definitely caught that. You think that slipped by me? No, because I was gonna say that our guy James is in the YouTube comments. He said Georgia's gonna send Ohio packing 42-3.
It ain't gonna be that bad.
That would be the score if the Ohio Bobcats played against Georgia in the playoffs. But it's the Ohio State Buckeyes who are gonna be there. They ain't losing 42-3. They may not win, but they're not going to lose 42-3.
Come cook on y'all.
Yeah, and I think that. Oh, and also I want to correct myself. Earlier, I said that the Titans GM's name was John Wilson. It was another generic name, John Robinson. I apologize to John Robinson, but I think that they got it right because Alabama had those 2 losses, and like Nick Saban is talking about like strength of schedule and point disparity and all that. When it gets to the point where you're trying to beef up your losses plural, I would much rather have TCU in the playoff than Alabama. It more than just the brand, and it's also like TCU is the little guy representation.
The brand.
Duggan was crying like they did not, like they got bounced out of the playoffs though. Like after the Big 12 championship, he was like, "Damn, it's over. We're gonna lose."
He thought it was.
He thought it was over.
He thought it was over.
No way.
And we will.
Thought it was over.
Exactly, and we will have a couple weeks to talk about those college football playoff semifinals, so we'll get to those in a couple weeks. But the Heisman Trophy finalists were announced, as Javon alluded to earlier, as the finalists are as follows: C.J. Stroud from The Ohio State University, Caleb Williams from the University of Southern California, Max Duggan from Texas Christian University, and Stetson Bennett from the University of Georgia. So, Gary, I'm going to throw it back to you. As you know, we all know that you love college football. So, in your opinion, Gary, who will win the Heisman out of these 4 quarterbacks?
I'm just going to rock with Vaughn. I'm going to rock with Vaughn on this college football USC thing, Caleb Williams. Everyone's saying it's pretty much a done wrap. So, and I did watch his game this weekend, too, while I was at work. And people are comparing Patrick Mahomes. I see a little special in him, man. I ain't going to lie. I wish my Steelers could get him, but, we just keep wanting to win for some reason. I don't know why, but I feel like
because Mike Tomlin doesn't lose.
Simple.
Okay,
Simple.
Gary's
working hard. Don't bother
Caleb
him.
Williams.
Don't bother him. Caleb Williams, come on, man. Bring it back to Cali.
All right, Kevin, how about you?
C.J. Stroud. It's easy, and I'll keep it short because I know Toddy's got to go on another Caleb Williams rant, so I'll just keep it short.
Yeah, you got to save him 5 minutes.
It's obvious, man. C.J. Stroud's the best player in the world, the best player in the country in college football. And he's going to show it in the playoffs. You guys let us get in, and now he's going to blow down that fucking door.
All right, so, Javon, please tell us more about why you think Caleb Williams will win the Heisman.
First of all, CJ's coming in third.
Whoa!
He's coming in third.
Oh,
Duggan's coming in second. That boy's got guts.
So you like losers,
Duggan has got guts.
You like losers.
You right now.
This is a loser contest.
Yeah, you guys were losers as well. You guys were watching at home.
We lose to the same team twice, though.
Okay. Anyway, first of all, the winner is going to be Caleb Williams. He's a sophomore. He's got 4,000 yards, 37 touchdowns, 4 picks.
Oh, so this is a stat award.
I mean, it could be a stat award. It could be this. I mean,
he got the narrative too.
He got the best
That's
numbers.
part of it.
He kind of took
stats over politics.
He took the country by storm.
That's why I like or in our things. Stats over politics. Sometimes like the politics.
Country by storm. The whole nation. USC was a joke last year. Caleb Williams.
They're a joke this year.
Okay. Anyways, so CJ Stroud, he's got 37 touchdowns, 6 picks, 3,300 yards. So
and 1 loss.
He's more of a dink and dunk kind of guy. He's not really an air out type of guy. Dink and dunk, crossing routes.
Winner.
And I think he's going to be one of the top picks in this draft. I believe. I think he's going to
Stop. Okay.
So we got Max Duggan. He's got 3,300 yards, 30 touchdowns, 4 picks. Now you think about TCU. This is like their first time in the college football playoff. So I think that Duggan, just based off his performance throughout the entire year, I think he's been playing extremely well. And I think he's played better than CJ Stroud in recent memory. So my top 4, how it would go is Caleb Williams, Max Duggan, CJ Stroud, Stetson Bennett. Now Stetson Bennett's just there kind of just for the ride. His team, I think he has the best team, defense, skill players, just all around. I think those guys are just, just dogs all around. I think CJ, what's up with Smith and Jigba? Why is he not playing? He's kind of like, I don't know.
Hamstring,
bro.
Hamstring. He's hurt. He's not committed. I guess he's fuck it. I'm gonna take
not
my
committed.
All right, whatever. So I think those are those top 4 guys who are they're going to be able to. That's how it's going to go. CJ, unfortunately, is going to be in 3rd place. So. I'm sorry.
Vaughn, keep going over the time. Don't worry about Sean. Keep going, bro. Don't worry about it.
You still got Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, he's got a guy who I think is going to be a top pick in the up and coming drafts. But I think that CJ Stroud is kind of, he's a little bit wobbly when it kind of gets when the stage is very bright. I think he's gonna kind of show you who he really is. I don't think he has.
At Kevin's request,
This ain't fair.
Javon. I'm sorry.
It's at Kevin's request, but man, we get shot.
It's whenever I talk about when I talk the real. That's kind of what it is.
When you preaching, Ron, that's what happened.
Yeah,
Come on,
that's
Sean,
all
what
it
you
is,
thinking?
man.
Come on, Mr. Homer. Come on. We already know Ohio State gonna win the whole thing.
I just want everyone to know that Marcellus has arrived and he has arrived to the YouTube comments. So he just wanted everyone to know that. So anyways, I mean, I thought I was nice. I gave a nice 60-second shot clock, but we got to keep things moving. We're coming up on an hour. On July 21st, 2022 at 4:06 a.m., I placed a bet. This was a bet on the Heisman Trophy. The odds were plus 200 for the favorite, and he is going to win coming up at the end of this month, and that is CJ Stroud from the Ohio State University. He was there last year, and then he lost.
It's not this year.
He was the first loser. Yeah, just like you were talking about your Trojans, I know. And so anyways, he was the first loser last year. He's about to be the winner this year, and Caleb Williams is likely going to be in that same scenario next year when the Trojans might actually make the playoffs. But as Marcellus knows, that USC are the biggest frauds of the year.
Oh, my God.
If you ask me, I'd probably say the order would be CJ
Who's
Stroud.
winning the Heisman, though?
I do think that Caleb Williams will get second. I got CJ Stroud, Caleb Williams, Max Duggan, and then Stetson Bennett.
Yeah, so threw 700 more yards than this guy.
I'm hearing it's a landslide for Caleb Williams.
What are we talking about? Like, it's not even close. It's not
Gary
close.
has sources.
I've just been seeing all these Mike Pine Farm and all these college networks are all saying that he's winning with a landslide. So I'm like shocked right now. It's big homerish. It's feeling big homerish right now.
We could let Caleb get his hype up, because next year he'll be the second best quarterback in the Pac-12. So we can let him get his hype going. Maybe into next year.
You know what's so funny? I know exactly.
Shador Sanders, baby. Taking over the Pac-12, baby. Colorado winning it, baby.
Yeah,
James is going to be next. It's going to be nice.
Yeah, we didn't
win the Heisman next year.
You want to know what's crazy?
Yeah.
Sean didn't even give us
Deion Sanders, I trust.
Sean didn't even give us a reason why Caleb Williams is going to win or that CJ Stroud is going to win. He just said,
it's because you took up all of my time.
He's the first loser last year. He's the first winner this year. That's not a reason why. You didn't give me the hard, cold facts that he is going to win over Caleb Williams this year. You guys made the playoff. Okay, fine, you got it. But Caleb Williams is going to win the Heisman. I'm being
as realistic. He's the only one not playing, right? He's just going to sign autographs and take pictures.
Oh my God!
Everyone else is going to play. So just off of that alone,
we're
Caleb
still in the
isn't going to
bowl
win.
game. We're just not in the playoff. This is a 12, and we were in the.
Where's your toilet bowl game, Alaska? No one cares, Todd. It's all about the playoffs or nothing.
If it was a 12-team playoff, we would make it in. That's what he was about to say. If it was a 12-team playoff,
I do want the 12-team playoff. That's gonna be way more interesting. Come on now, you guys.
I want the 12-team playoff as well, just so Toddy can shut up, and then USC and Ohio State can play in the playoff, and we'll see what happens. Why? Because they just allowed 47 points to Utah.
Because we're coming to the Big Ten.
Yeah, so you're really not going to the playoffs. So you got 2 more years, and then it's a wrap.
We're gonna be Big Ten champs.
Y'all gonna be the next Northwestern.
We're gonna be the best team in our division, and then it just won't matter after that because we're coming to the Big Ten with open arms. We're gonna have the best recruits. People are gonna want to come to LA. They don't want to go to cold ass Columbus. They don't want to come to LA. They don't want to be with Snoop Dogg. I mean, what are we talking about, man?
I'd run away from Utah if I were you too.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. And since Gary thinks that Kevin and I are just biased Ohio State fans, I want to get to a couple of the YouTube comments before we move on real quick. Marcellus thinks that Stroud is a fraud. Manny thinks that Caleb Williams will win the Heisman.
Because Manny knows football. Like, he played football.
And he knows the football picture as his profile picture.
He knows what he's about.
Man is a Seahawks fan.
He knows.
James also thinks that Toddy's a mad boy about the Heisman as well.
I'm not mad. I'm just being facts.
He wants him to win something, man. Caleb just needs a good win, man. It's been a while.
He's going to win it. Kevin, so he's going to win it, yes or no?
He had a good year. Come on, kid.
Absolutely not.
All right, gentlemen. let's keep it moving. I will just mention as well that I will just mention as well, because you guys alluded to it, that Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, he's now moving on from Jackson State to the University of Colorado Boulder, which is where a couple of my cousins went. So I know that they're happy about it. So good luck to Coach Prime at Boulder.
Prime time. Let's go.
They're about
maybe.
Hold on.
They're about to stomp on USC every year.
Every year, boy, until they leave.
We're leaving like in 2 years. Okay. So
damn. 2 long seasons ahead.
So okay,
Yeah,
but on a serious
Y'all
note,
is crazy.
Deion Sanders going to Colorado is huge. He's already telling players on the roster, "Hey man, I'm taking my luggage with me."
And it's Louis.
I'm taking my luggage with me, and it's Louis. Travis Hunter in the incoming days, who was the #1 recruit, just college football sports #1 recruit, is probably going to transfer to Colorado. There have been 200 recruits asking, "Hey, primetime, you got the running back at Alabama. Hey, Unc, you got a spot for me in Colorado?" Like, Colorado is going to be
going up for
one
sure.
of the top teams, like, just in 1 year. I think they're going to see a very quick turnaround. And even with signing day, I think Colorado is going to make a lot of noise and on signing day too.
He knows how to recruit for sure.
I think that it'll be similar to what USC kind of was this year, just being able to just have just guys 4 or 5 stars all across the board. I think you'll see a big change in that, but I don't think that it'll be exactly. So many said because of the transfer portal, Colorado has an opportunity to make the play. Literally, it's going to be the exact same thing. I just don't know if he'll be able to change both sides of the ball in 1 year, because it's hard. It's hard to change.
Oh, talk from experience, huh?
It's very tough to change. It's very tough to change. Hey,
Colorado's going to show you the right way to do it.
Okay, so anyway,
come on. All right.
So when USC leaves, Colorado will be the top team in the Pac-12. I think they'll probably be, it'll be Utah and Colorado. Those will be the kind of top guys. But Deion going to Colorado is huge, man. Like, it's going to be a party.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about it plenty in the coming weeks as well. So, guys, you may have thought that I forgot, but I didn't. I just wanted to throw you off. Sean's pop quiz, everybody.
Damn.
We got to go. But
I already knew you didn't forget.
Hey, Gary knew. You guys thought
I'm trying to get one. Come on, y'all. Throw me a softball.
It's time for Sean's pop quiz. And the last thing that we talked about was the Heisman. So I figured this week I'm going to make Sean's pop quiz about the Heisman Trophy. So, guys, we're going to take it back a couple of years, though. Not too far, but we're going to take it back a couple of years. And, Toddy, I'm going to kick things off with you. Who won the Heisman? And, by the way, no multiple choices. Who won the Heisman Trophy in 2005, Toddy?
Reggie.
How you gonna lob him like that?
It was Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush won the Heisman Trophy in 2005.
Oh, so you said Caleb's gonna win it? That's why. Okay, yeah. Caleb
and so Javon, for the full answer to that question, why am I asking you about 2005? Like, what happened with that Heisman Trophy?
They took his because he's a Trojan. That's why they took it away. That's the reason why
disrespected
they took his
man.
Heisman Trophy. They disrespected him. And he asked me because he knows
he needs that back. I'm not gonna lie. He needs that back quick.
He knows.
Yeah, and Manny got it.
Caleb Williams is gonna.
That was a leg
this year. So, hey man,
do it off the backboard. Let Toddy dunk it.
All right, now
better be a Buckeye question for me.
All right, so Toddy got one. So now Toddy's at a total of 3 points through 4 weeks.
Who was the last Buckeye to win it?
I'm not sure.
3 point.
No. Well, I do know. I do know. I do know. The answer. Kevin, Toddy, just let me ask this question. Kevin.
Jameis Winston.
Kevin, now on to you. Who won the Heisman Trophy in 2006?
Shit.
No, and Gary, I see you looking down. Don't be Gary.
I'm getting a point this week, y'all.
Gary's cheating. Gary's
Snatch. Troy Smith. That's me.
Yes, I didn't get a chance to answer.
Kev, what you were gonna find? We'll be honest. Were you gonna know that one?
Honestly, you don't know what I could have guessed. So I deserve to get his question.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'll take a snatch. Okay, so I don't know if I want to give Gary the point on that.
Yeah,
Yes,
Gary's cheating.
Troy Smith
I got
won it in 2006. Troy Smith, Javon was the last Buckeye to win it. And Javon literally said it, and I wanted to answer it, but then I was going to be answering my next trivia question, so I didn't want to do it. So, anyways,
before Sean looked this up during the week, he had no idea what the last Buckeye was to win it.
No, I know.
Who is Troy Smith?
He's a quarterback who played he was a journeyman quarterback. He also played for the Niners in 2011, 2012.
I know.
Sean did his research, man. Good job, Sean.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Anyways, okay. Well, so how, Javon, how do you think I should approach this? Should I give Kevin Gary's question now?
You got to.
Okay.
What?
Okay. All right. So who won it in 2007, Kevin?
Oh shit. Vince Young?
No, looking it up. Nope, it was not Vince Young. All right. And Gary, that was going to be your question. So you just ruined it.
You actually probably would have thrown me a layup. I shouldn't actually wait. That's probably the only person I would have known.
I literally
Tim Tebow.
I literally tried to throw everyone a layup this week. I tried to throw each of you a layup. I gave Toddy the USC player. I gave Kevin the Ohio State player, and nice. I gave Gary God's gift to earth, Tim Tebow.
No one knows
the guy who beat me in the playoffs in overtime. Still remember to this day.
That's why everyone knows who Reggie Bush is. Nobody knows who Troy Brown is. It's
okay.
facts.
So Javon got a point. Are we counting Gary's point? What do we think?
No.
His face lit up as soon as his phone lit up.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true, Kevin. I saw him looking down, and I knew exactly what he was doing.
He was like,
I was looking down. I got notes here too, you guys. Come on.
Yeah, Siri like this.
I got notes.
And see, you guys wonder why the Sean's pop quiz questions have been tough, because when I make it that easy, shit like that happens.
No,
but,
you gotta know the pop quiz questions
give us a bonus one
real
quick. Give us a bonus one.
Okay. All right. How about a bonus one? Who won it in 2016? And whoever answers first, whoever wants to answer this one first.
I'm gonna look down for you guys.
It's out there. I already know this one off the top of my head because I saw it stat earlier.
Lamar.
It was Lamar Jackson.
Damn, I was gonna say Lamar.
Toddy really just doubled his points in 1 week. Toddy's up at 4 now.
I remember that season when it was Deshaun Watson versus Lamar Jackson. I was like, bro, Lamar is probably gonna do it, but I was like, Deshaun is a cold boy. Like that Clemson team when they won it that year, but then they played at Clemson and like they lost at it was like the final seconds when they lost. But I remember Lamar. It was Lamar versus Deshaun Watson. So.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. All
Lamar
right,
was
so
crazy. He put like 6 touchdowns in a game at one point in time. Like, what are we?
So the reason why I brought up Lamar is because I saw a graphic earlier that was pretty crazy. That Lamar and Stetson Bennett were both born in 1997, and Lamar won the Heisman 6 years ago. Stetson Bennett is a Heisman finalist this season. That was just the craziest stat.
Like, how does that work? What is he, like a 5th-year senior?
Something like that, somewhere around there. Yeah, had to redshirt. Maybe had a medical year.
Yeah.
Probably that COVID year, honestly.
COVID year.
Yeah. He's like a super senior.
Super senior. I felt bad because it makes it seem like you like slow or something. Like, you know, people who's you saying like, all right, but it's not his fault.
Because he's like a redshirt COVID senior. That's like damn near what he is, though. If you think about it, because he got an extra year.
And one thing we all can agree on is that he will not be winning the Heisman Trophy. We know that for sure. So, guys, unless you guys got any final thoughts, I think that's it for another week, episode number 4. We appreciate you all for tuning in on Twitter, on YouTube. Our podcast is now live on every single platform except for Apple, because Apple, they ain't fucking with us, but we'll get there eventually. And
whoa, I got family on here now. What you guys.
They're not messing. Apple's not messing with us. That's what's going on right now. And so, anyways, for Gary Singh, Kevin Dent, Javon, Toddy. Javon had his finger up. Did you have a final?
Oh yeah, I just wanted to say one last thing. So there was like talks about Baker Mayfield going to the Niners, and obviously he ended up going to the Rams today. I think the whole team kind of was rallying around Brock Purdy. I heard Brandon Ayuk, one of our star receivers. He went on a podcast. I think it was with TJ Huzbajada. I don't know the name of the podcast, but he was kind of saying like, okay, they asked him like, yo, Brock or Baker Mayfield is going to kind of be on the wire. Like, the waiver wire, what do you think? You guys should grab him. And he was kind of like, to be honest, like, we're all kind of rocking with Brock because of how he didn't think he was going to get in his preparation, being the last pick in the draft, being a rookie, and just him being able to go in. That kind of like made me was like, all right, like if BA is saying all this stuff about Brock Purdy, I'm going to have to rock with this guy. And we got to do it.
We're not ending this on a Niners topic, yo. I'm sorry, Kev. I'm sorry you had to hear all that, man.
We kind of had to go with it. We got Brady coming up this week.
I'm sorry, Vaughn. We can't end it like that. Go Kings.
I'm confident in our defense, and I think that the Niners get the win over the Bucs on Sunday.
All right, well, there you go. And in Brock Purdy, we trust. And like Fred Warner said, Brock Purdy's been playing against the best defense in the league for 13 weeks. So we'll see how he does. For Kevin Dent, for Javon Toddy, for Gary Singh, I am Sean Holka. We appreciate you all for tuning in, and we'll catch you next week on another episode of Stats Over Politics.